Good day, everyone. Richard Cowperthwait for Northwest Access TV. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have guesting on the show today, St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith. Mr. Mayor, good to see you.
Richard, how are you?
Good. I should note we're taping the show on Tuesday, October 17. Boy, Tim, when's the last time we saw serious sun? It just seems like an incredible, stagnant, upper air disturbance, but...
Well, that was a nice stretch that we had of 17 days.
When I was away,
you were away.
I got good weather where I was. But no, it sounds like, in fact, I guess I missed Burlington's all-time record high, recorded October temp of 86 one day. Yeah, no, it sounds like you had some great weather.
17 days, no rain. It was a nice stretch.
No, good for you guys. Good timing on my trip, I guess.
Yeah, that's
it sounds like not our best fall color-wise and stuff.
I totally agree with you.
Not outstanding.
My wife and I went to Bethlehem, New Hampshire, and met a friend.
Oh, that's a nice town. I go through there once in a while.
Yeah, Bethlehem's a very nice town.
Yeah,
but nothing. I just had this conversation with a gentleman at Traveled Cup that there was nothing. There was that you didn't hit that scenic pop that a mountainside and we ended up at Mount Washington Hotel.
Oh, really? Wow.
And that was. It was okay, but it wasn't. Yeah, I agree with you totally that the colors just weren't there.
Had you stayed there before? That sounds like
no,
this is
but that's on
the
our
Bretton Woods. This is but you went over there.
It's on our. We have to coordinate the visit with the low room rates.
Right. I was going to say that's not a cheap day.
No, so I think we're looking at possibly staying there in March.
No, really, that's great. In fact, did you check what room rates are now? Or close?
I think 700.
I was going to say 500 to 1,000.
Yeah, 700. Wow. I think they were.
Wow.
So I think it's down to 310 in March, early March.
No, that sounds like a great place to check.
Yeah, no, it was. We walked around the lobby of the hotel and the porch, and
wow,
yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Great place.
Yeah.
Hey, in the news, of course, Burlington Mayor Moreau Weinberger announcing, I guess a few weeks ago, he would not run for re-election. Made me think about Mayor Tim here. You're nearing the end of a second term, or am I wrong on that? Or am I off by a term?
I thought you were suggesting that I run for the Burlington mayor.
No, probably wouldn't say that. Might be a little tough. Although, of course, we already have one announced candidate, a pretty serious prog, Emma Mulvaney-Stanek, announced yesterday. I heard Ed Adrian on VMT this morning, as a former Franklin County deputy prosecutor and a former Burlington. I don't know if you know Ed at all.
I don't know.
And a former Burlington city councilor.
Right, I knew.
But his words about Emma were, I think she's a really good person, and I think she'd be a horrible mayor. But Joan Shannon's kind of a Democrat, more moderate city councilor who seems, just I know her from radio, seems really solid. I guess she's really thinking about it. But
I don't know the ins and outs of all of them.
Yeah.
But she would probably be my choice. If
she'd be my choice, probably.
I like the fact that she did push back against the police reduction, which I think has been a big piece of the Burlington issue for sure.
Yeah.
So I think she would. I don't think Burlington needs a progressive mayor. That's for sure.
Oh, there have been a lot of issues down there. That'll be an interesting race.
Based on when progressives had control of the council, there was a lot of things that were not good that came out of that experience.
Yeah, the police force reduction, of course, being the biggie, or one of the biggies.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of issues that I'm not in agreement with that they have moved forward.
So you've gotten to know Moreau a bit, pretty.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I saw an article. I think it was in 7. He's contemplating statewide office. I guess.
Right. Yeah, he did note that.
I'm not sure what that statewide office would be.
Boy, if he's running for governor, you better hope that Governor Scott's had enough.
And I my personal opinion is I don't think he statewide, if he goes up against someone like Governor Scott or others, I think the outsiders outside Chittenden County have viewed that he has not done a great job as mayor. I just think that's a perspective, because of the decline of Burlington.
Yeah, no, Burlington gets a lot of bad ink these days.
Yeah, so I think it'd be a tough sell for sure.
I think you're right about that.
And there's that animosity that is Burlington, right? Sure. We don't need, already Chittenden County has 6 senators. We don't need a governor or a lieutenant governor with a Chittenden County focus as well. That's my take on it. But
So back to yourself, Mike. You still have a bunch of months left in your second term. I'm not a term.
No, third.
Boy, I am. I wasn't sure about that. My apologies.
That's right. Yeah, it'll be six years in March.
So 6 years. So any thoughts? I'm sure you ponder that. Anything?
I knock it around periodically, then I move on to something else.
Yeah. But you're at least open to running again?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But at this point, not prepared to give us.
Yeah, I haven't gotten my petition or gotten signatures. So
you got a ways to go.
Got 2 or 3 months. Yeah, I think it has to be in the end of January. So, the precedence that's been set before me.
If you're going to catch up to former Mayor Delorier, you got a ways to go.
I can guarantee you that won't happen.
Is that right? Peter had what, six terms maybe?
6 terms, 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years.
And then Marty had 3 terms, 6 years, and Liz had 3 terms of 6 years. So if I go one more, I surpass Marty and Liz.
But not you don't think you'd set a record?
No,
then,
I can guarantee you I will not. I will not get to Pete's level.
Interesting.
Which is interesting. I mean, 12 years is a long time.
Yeah.
6 years is a long time.
Yeah.
My wife and I have talked about it a little bit, but nothing concrete by any means. So I've enjoyed it for sure. I mean, you meet a lot of great people. I think the council's excellent. We've done a lot of good things for sure.
Yeah.
The people on the council I enjoy working with.
And your stability with the city manager, I mean, Dominic, I'm off on him probably. We're talking like 12, 13 years for
I think he's coming
double digits, right?
13 for sure.
I got to get him in. I haven't even interviewed him for a while, but
13 for sure, and I think he's looking at probably. I think his 14 is pretty close to start his 14th year.
Yeah.
And we've been fortunate. I tell people that all the time. You don't find city managers like Dominic in the state of Vermont. Many of them are, status quo. They want to maintain the tax rate. They don't want to. They don't want to buck the system.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate that his vision over the years has been to St. Albans' benefit for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've told you this before. Not a day goes by when someone doesn't tell me how great the city looks, and it could be. It could be a visitor, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a resident, it could be anyone. But I hear it every day how great the city looks.
Yeah.
And, that for me, that's a source of pride for sure. And as I tell them, it's not just me. It's that we've got a great team with everyone at City Hall, Chip Sawyer, Marty Manahan, everyone that's working the offices, it's just a good, strong team for sure.
And it sounds like pretty good stability. Not a ton of changes over the years.
Yeah, no. We had Alan when I first started. Alan Robtoy retired. Chief Taylor retire.
Yeah.
And then a big kudos go out to Mo Lamont and his team at the police station. Matt Mulheron at the fire station. I mean, we've got stability. We've got people in place that take pride in what they do and take pride in the city.
Right. I guess, apartments getting a lot of attention in St. Albans. A number of apartment projects coming up.
Yeah.
Including a couple right by City Hall.
I think a lot of people are getting anxious about those. We still have a long ways to go.
Yeah.
We have to get something on paper so we can get an extension to the TIF.
Yeah.
Because the TIF's a key piece of the puzzle.
And that's not with you forever. That runs out, next
It actually
next
runs
April?
out. We're looking for that. Does it run out?
I think I've read April 2024, if that's...
so we're... I think we're going to... There'll be items on town meeting day.
Okay.
To try to... But we had to get things in place, but it's still... design is very preliminary.
Yeah.
Land negotiations are preliminary, but we just have to get something to move the TIF discussion forward. The Cathedral Square is moving forward down at Fonda.
Yeah.
You obviously see the construction, and it's not our project, on Lake Street.
And that's Grant Butterfield?
Grant Butterfield is doing that one, who did a piece of the Maiden Lane apartments as well. So we're... and Lake Street, it's moving along very well. So it'll be I think that's 72 apartments on Lake Street,
Yeah.
32 or 34 at Fonda. So
So Fonda's moving. Is that totally solid? Is that definitely?
no, it's not totally solid, but
Yeah.
it's 90%.
solid,
Yeah,
really.
I think they're finalizing some funding options and moving forward. So
Will there be more space on the old Fonda solo
will be,
site?
yeah.
More space there.
And whether it's housing or some type of business, we don't know at this point. But we've toyed around with both. There's been designs done for 3 larger business buildings for sure.
Yeah.
We're fortunate to have saved the Genesee, Wyoming Rail Dispatch or Rail America Dispatch.
Right.
And that's worked out well. It's Fonda's a long time coming,
Yeah.
but it's going to prove to be an asset in the long run.
Speaking of railroad, any nibbles on the railroad building?
I forgot. Yeah. We actually met with 3 representatives. Oh, on the railroad building.
On the
I thought you
railroad
were going to go down the Amtrak route.
I'll do. In fact,
could do
I
that.
actually saw a TV story on that. I know I'm happy. I'm always happy to go that route. Sounds like that's getting a little attention anyway.
Yeah. Going back to the building, I haven't heard any activity.
Huh.
That's as we've talked before. I think the building is separate from the land, so whatever negotiation you do, you have two
Yeah.
parties that you need to negotiate with. But I haven't heard the end of. We did meet with individuals from Amtrak probably 2 weeks ago,
Really?
and one of the individuals I ran into him down at the Amtrak ticket office, which is that smaller side building.
Yeah.
And his vision for the railroad building was a hotel upstairs and some retail downstairs, which I thought was interesting.
Huh.
I'm not sure if the hotel, if it were to come to fruition, if it could block out the railroad whistles going by in the middle of the night.
Right.
But nothing there. But going back to Amtrak,
Trying to get the Vermonter back to Montreal.
The date we heard was 2027.
2027.
Yeah.
Well, I might still be around. there.
We were after them to clean up the ticket office and put some work into that because it doesn't. It's a little run down, and when a train comes into town, we want that. As Dominic had shared, the ticket office is not our brand.
Yeah.
I mean, we would like to have it cleaned up and painted, and some point work done on the bricks and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they were in agreement with that, and I think they're going to be investing some money to it. But their concern was if the main building does sell, is maintaining that right away to the ticket office. So you have that driveway south of Boston Tailoring, and they need to maintain ownership or a right of way so that they can continue to access the ticket office.
I may well have asked you this before, and not a case for me. I walk. In fact, I took a train trip from St. Albans to Durham, NC, and back on my trip, and with the Vermonter to D.C., of course. Can you park there overnight? Nothing. It's I literally just walked to the train station from my house. There's parking there, but is it okay to park there overnight for folks who are doing a train trip?
Yeah,
as far as you know.
Yeah, as far as I know, I know that I know that there's never been an issue with it. If someone has, on the other side, we've had individuals who have been gone for a longer period of time actually park their car in the parking garage. So they contact City Hall and they work out a deal. They're not going to charge them every day, but they'll a lump sum to park and get it out of the weather. Mainly the winter weather.
Yeah.
So
that's true. You have that real close.
Yeah. So that has worked out well for a few people.
Right. So speaking of the parking garage, an issue, I'm going back some months when there was just concern about, some homeless folks hanging out, but just some concern about what was going on inside the parking garage. Is that situation okay?
I think it's improved significantly. The situation was you had some young kids skateboarding, riding shopping carts, riding their bikes, just being a nuisance, throwing things off the top of the garage. And then there were homeless utilizing some of the areas to charge phones and hang out. And and this was a concern of Councilman Hawkins.
Right.
He expressed it. And so the city has doing more regular patrols through the parking garage. We shut the power off to the outlets to restrict that opportunity for for individuals to hang out and charge phones. And we have an individual going in 3 to 6 hours, or 3 in the afternoon to 6 in the evening, just patrolling the garage, and it's made a huge difference in getting it cleaned up. The usage of the garage isn't what it used to be.
I was going to ask you about that. Is that right?
Pre-COVID, because you have so many working from home.
Right.
You've got some transition in some businesses, but we did offer the parking garage to the high school students. I don't know if you saw that, yeah. So they could fill out a form and park there for free.
And some of them have been making use of that, I assume?
Yeah, not as many as we'd like, but yeah, some have started to do so. I think the perception is because it's off Main Street, it's a longer walk, but I would argue that
not much of a
no,
not
I
much
mean,
of a walk.
From where people do park, which is up on High Street and all the way down South Main,
Right.
You come out of the parking garage and you're 200 yards away from the connector. It's not
pretty close.
Yeah, and during the winter your car's out of the elements, and so hopefully that picks up. Our theory is the more activity, the better off we are.
Yeah.
It discourages bad behavior if you have people coming and going on a regular basis. So that's what the city's focus on, is trying to get more activity in the parking garage.
Yeah. The state office building, again, with COVID, with a lot of folks working from home, are there still just not, presumably, a bunch of people who don't go into work there, who used to go into work?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
And you can really see it in the parking garage.
Yeah.
The second floor used to be full all the time, and part of third.
Yeah.
But that's 2's never full anymore.
Really?
So yeah, we're looking at ways to increase that activity. We think it makes a difference in sort of the self-policing aspect of it.
Yeah,
so.
But that was the key. I mean, that was kind of part and parcel of the state office building. I mean, you had to move on the garage.
Right. Yep.
Interesting. What was I going to say? Oh, you touched on homeless. Still some homeless folks, some encampments around?
Yeah, for sure. There's some down behind Brandon Pools, Walmart, I think, Price Chopper.
Wow.
Down by Food City. There's still some around. I would say for the most part, the individuals, I mean, we've had some issues, but I think for the most part, the individuals have been respectful, if you will, not causing problems for the most part. Not, the police are aware of where they are and who they are, and we've had actually probably the more bigger issue recently is more of the immigrant population ending up in St. Albans.
And that's been happening.
It's I don't think a lot of people see it because they're not here for a long stay. They tend to end up here and then end up on a bus or a train headed to bigger cities.
Really? Why are they coming here in the firm? Why are they ending up here?
I think they're getting across the Canadian border.
Okay, so just folks coming across the Canadian border.
We just had a situation last week, end of last week, with a mother and a 17-year-old son. I'm not sure they ended up here, and they were taken care of and put on a train. They had no interest in staying here, but very little English. So we. So there is a nucleus of organizations that have come to focus on that population and try to figure out how to address some of their needs.
Now with winter, official fall now, with winter coming, for the folks who are camping out, who knows what happens to them as the weather gets colder?
the accommodations that we have, Tim's house and some of the restorative justice apartments and whatnot, they're all full.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Right.
we do get the Burlington police do drop people off here
Really?
to get them out of Burlington.
Is that right? They'll
Yeah, it
literally.
happens, yeah.
I'm
drive
sure
up.
that must make you real.
Yeah.
Do you ever to city PD ever return the favor?
Well, we actually talked about it, and I was not keen on it. You know, I didn't. But then it started happening. They were doing it to us. I don't think we've done it. I may be naive to that, but as far as I know, we have not reciprocated that goodwill gesture.
Interesting, but that actually has happened,
Yeah.
huh? Boy, it sounds like, and again, St. Albans, obviously, plenty of places. That issue, a lot of communities, I guess, can relate to and try to deal with.
It baffles me how we got to this point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've had homeless before, and we've had mental health issues, but you know, we were in Maine, and outside of Portland, there was one road as you drove up 95.
Really?
Tents, all, I mean,
Right.
for a
Is that
mile,
right
yeah.
outside
all
of
inside
Portland?
the road, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and my brother Mike, who just traveled, went cross country, he ran into people from Oregon and other areas that they say they don't even go to Portland anymore. Portland, Oregon.
Is that right?
It's just deteriorated to
A
such
city
a
that
level.
was getting great words for you. Not to mention San Francisco.
Yeah.
How many times have I said, "Hey, force me to live in a city, throw me in San Fran"? It sounds like San Fran and L.A. have taken huge hits because of a huge homeless issues.
And Portland, Portland was my favorite
great city.
Oh, it was a perfect size.
Great city.
Had a lot of amenities. It was a nice city, but now people, similar to Burlington, a lot of people will choose not to go to Burlington.
Wow. Yeah.
Downtown Burlington, for reasons we've all read about. So.
Yeah. Speaking of downtown St. Albans, how would you rate downtown St. Albans these days?
Probably about a B minus, probably.
All right.
We do have some transition going on.
Huh.
Still have some openings we'd like to address. You know, the key to downtown is having people downtown.
Yeah.
And the CCV classes, it's obvious when they get out. You know, we see a lot of people downtown,
And I was going to ask you about the I have friends who ask me, Richard, ask the mayor about the CCV building and stuff. I mean, you could use some more life in there. Has that been?
yeah, for sure.
Has that been a disappointment, or would you?
No, I think what happens, and I face it with the industrial park as well. I think people think that filling those spots or selling land, it's a quick fix.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a patient game. You really have to you have to put a lot of work into it in terms of recruitment and having those conversations.
Yeah.
And retail's tough, right? I mean,
Sure.
or being in small business is tough. So, you know, we continue to plug along, and then we've got we hope a new children's and baby clothes coming in 1st of December for the holidays. We think that'll be a nice addition downtown. You know, there's interested parties looking at a few different sites for sure. So, you know, I think, and when the key, well, like I said, the key is to keep people coming to downtown.
Yeah.
And a couple of things I want to mention, Richard, was, I mean, you did have the farmers market has been huge for downtown.
I was there Saturday. Two more farmers markets for the record.
And then I don't know if you experienced I'm not sure what the official name is, but the craft show every second Sunday of the month. They've had as many as 50 or 60 vendors.
Wow.
And the attendance has been wonderful. And then you had the tattoo festival of the weekend, which brought, to my surprise, brought 1,000 people into the city.
Is that right? That's interesting.
You know, and that, you know, the coffee shops, the restaurants, I mean, those are all ones that benefit. You had another car show recently to benefit Camp Tecumseh, and that was 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's those activities that keep people coming, and promote the area for sure.
Yeah, with also your Franklin County Industrial Development Corporation had labor shortage. That situation just ongoing doesn't change much. Or?
Yeah, no, it continues to be a topic of conversation for sure.
I know your great idea. Just convince some of the folks commuting to Chittenden County every day to hang around. Have you got any strategy for that? I mean, you certainly talk about it, but do you get anywhere with that?
No, I don't have a strategy. I haven't had time to focus on what that might look like. Of course, you can't put up, the state doesn't allow you to put up banners up by the interstate
And
anymore.
I was going to say, a nice billboard.
Yeah,
why are you going south? Stay around St. Albans, but you can't do that.
But the one thing we are doing is Andy Crossman, who's on our board, has been the lead organizer on what we call Maker Day. On November 1st, we have 8 manufacturers who have committed to doing tours for students and parents. So after school, we'll be transporting individuals who want to attend to MVU. We'll have some demonstrations set up for them to view. We'll have a panel discussion, then we'll load them on vans or buses and take them to those, whichever one they chose to go to. We'll bus them, and they'll get a tour of manufacturing. Today, I'll send out a letter to all those 8 manufacturers to encourage them to encourage their employees to encourage their children to attend, and the parents can join them. And it's a good opportunity for family members to see what their father or mother does in manufacturing, and hopefully, as they graduate and they choose not to go into college, that this will be they'll have a better understanding of what's available to them in the region. So
I think progress is being made, and we've talked about this before, just with, and you're touching on it right now, encouraging kids to get into trades. And obviously, not everybody's going to college, but you think there's progress on that front?
Yeah, I think the school's attitude towards this has really changed a lot. Yeah. They understand the value of that. We need to offer choices for graduating students. Yeah. College isn't for everyone, and they can, the one thing that we're pushing, we've had discussions with the state college system, is having programs set up for water and wastewater treatment operators, because that's an aging workforce, and if you don't have someone to run a water plant or a wastewater, you're
tough
shape. Yeah. So we're proposing a 2-year certification program at BTC. You could easily do an internship someplace during the summers, but you could, those positions are paying anywhere between $70,000 and $80,000.
Wow!
So there's a lot of opportunity with very limited debt to be carrying over the years.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I sure hope there's progress made on that front. In fact, I was calling a plumber who did some good work for me some years ago. Haven't even gotten a call back, but
sure it's tough.
Nobody else can relate to that, but I'm sure these guys are all just working like crazy.
You're exactly right.
Yeah. The City PD, again, the agreement with St. Albans Town, again, you'll take over coverage of the town next July 1st. City PD gearing up for that, making progress on that?
Not just the city, not just the PD, but so the arrangement allowed for 3 from each community to be on a committee to overview finances and whatnot.
Gee, down to a minute. Yeah. Time flies here. But
looking at finance, so I think city and town are pretty close to naming their 3.
Okay.
I think our 3 are mainly city councilor members. I think town has 2 selectmen and maybe 1 other outstanding someone outside the select board. So they will be coming together soon. I am, and I think the council are pushing hard to make sure we have the street crimes unit embedded in that as well.
To try to bring that back. Yeah. So. Okay, I guess on that note, not hard to knock off a half hour with St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith. Mayor, good to see you. Thanks to producer Alan Cunningham, and I'm Richard Cowperthwait, and thanks for watching us here on Northwest Access TV. See you next time. See ya.